Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Edward III, and we get to hear from King John again today in Act 4, Scene 5, which is a scene where, again, we're trying to dig a little bit into the sort of impending doom for the French. You know, they weren't doing so well in the beginnings of the war, and there was also this prophecy that they would never succeed until, stones do things that stones don't do. But Prince John was able to reinterpret that prophecy so that it made him feel better about his chances. And then in Act 4, Scene 4, we had the French surrounding the English, so things maybe looked pretty good there, but of course Prince Edward isn't going to give up that easily, so he's gone to, fight with Lord Audley. They're going to still try to win. And in Act 4, Scene 5, we do get this sense of doom. Like there was literally a flock of ravens that came into the French camp and scared everybody that was in there. You know, people were dropping their weapons and wanting to flee because they thought that this flock of ravens was actually a really bad sign for their chances. And when Philip tells King John about this in yesterday's monologue, King John spun it around and was like, no, they're just, the ravens are preparing for the feast that we're about to kill for them. You know, they show up early before the things are actually dead. So they're not coming to feed on us. They're coming to feed on the spoils of our war that we will win. So that's why they're coming to us, is because they know that we're going to feed them, basically, is what he's saying about the ravens. So Philip goes off to, sort of calm down the troops and see if he can get everybody back into a fighting headspace again. But then Charles comes in with Salisbury in tow. And if you remember, Salisbury was trying to get to Calais, where King Edward is, to deliver word that King Edward has more support. And he sent his prisoner Villiers to Charles, the Duke of Normandy, to ask for like a passport so that he would be able to safely travel through France. So Charles has now sort of captured Salisbury and has him prisoner, and walks him in. And he's like, I got this guy, and Salisbury is like, actually, I have this passport that you gave me. And King John is like, nope, hang him anyway. Find a tree, go string him up. And Charles is like, but he has this passport that I gave him, where I gave my word that I guaranteed him safe passage. So we need to allow him safe passage through here because, I gave my word. And King John says, thou and thy word lie both in my command. What canst thou promise that I cannot break? Which of these twain is greater infamy, to disobey thy father or thyself? Thy word, nor no man's may exceed his power, nor that same man doth never break his word that keeps it to the utmost of his power. The breach of faith dwells in the soul's consent, which, if thyself without consent do break, thou art not charged with the breach of faith. Go, hang him, for thy license lies in me, and my constraint stands the excuse for thee. So this is King John putting his son Charles in his place, basically saying, haha, that's lovely that you promised him something, but I'm the boss of you. So if I tell you to break your word, you're going to break your word. You're supposed to. And because of the hierarchy of things, if I tell you to break your word, you do it, because otherwise you're breaking your word to me, the king, your father. So go hang him. That's my final word on the subject. And Charles then stands up for himself. And he's like, but no, I gave my word. And if I'm supposed to have some sort of position of power in this whole thing, if I'm supposed to end up being the leader, I need to be able to lead, and I need to be able to make my own decisions on stuff. And he even goes so far to say, as if Prince Edward had given a passport to a Frenchman, King Edward would stand by him and allow that to be a thing, pulling like that, but he gets to play outside. Why can't I play outside? Sort of thing with the back and forth. And King John gets a little bit frustrated with Charles, but then he turns to Salisbury. He's like, all right, so who are you and where are you going? And Salisbury's like, well, I'm Salisbury and I'm an earl and I'm trying to get to Calais where the king is. And King John is like, well, he's got a monologue. We'll get into that tomorrow. I'll see you then.